Money, shekels and shillings, pounds and pence, pieces of 8, dollars, dinero, lucre, dough, cash, coin of the realm, gravy, bread, bucks, lettuce and kale, banknotes and bills, moolah, money. Money. It's difficult to imagine a world without it. It's been around in one form or another for nearly 3,000 years. Every country has its own. But what exactly is money? Hello, I'm James Earl Jones. Money can be many things. It's coins and currency, credit cards and checks. In some cultures, it's been stones, feathers, beads, salt, and tobacco. Money can represent something else, too. You've heard the expression, money is the root of all evil, or money makes the world go round. What about money talks? Each piece of money has a story to tell. The people, places, and events portrayed on it, who made it, and why it was made. Money is history you can hold in your hands. Money is always fascinating, not just how people chase after it, but how it relates to important events and historical figures. Pirates fought and died for gold doubloons and silver pieces of 8. It is said George Washington threw a silver dollar across the Potomac River. Some people have superstitions about money. Find a penny, pick it up, or that day you'll have good luck. A penny or a cent may not buy much, but each is rich with information, and you can start a coin collection with just a handful. Here's the Lincoln Memorial, a tribute to our 16th president, the Emancipation Proclamation, the Civil War, the Gettysburg Address, all these images brought to mind by this coin, first issued 100 years after Lincoln's birth. Look closer, you can see the motto, "In God We Trust," reflecting America's devotion to religion, and liberty, the principle on which our country was founded. There's even the date and mint mark to tell when and where the coin was made. And those initials on the back, they tell who designed the coin. VDB, for Victor David Brenner, the famous artist from the turn of the century. All that on one coin. And every coin has a story to tell. In this program, you'll see how money is made, and hear some fascinating stories about famous coins and currency. You see why millions of people enjoy the hobby of coin collecting, the hobby of numismatics. A coin show is a good place to answer the question, what is numismatics? Numismatics is the science, study, and collecting of coins, tokens, metals, paper money, and similar objects. There's a coin show held somewhere across the country almost every weekend. Some are small, with only a dozen or so dealers. Others are large, lasting several days, with hundreds of dealers and thousands of visitors. You can always find interesting and unusual items to collect, priced from a few cents to hundreds or thousands of dollars. Money comes in many shapes, sizes, and denominations. The United States has produced coins as small as a half-cent copper coin to as large as a $50 gold coin. From a 3-cent banknote to a $3 bill to a $100,000 bill. At the Bureau of Engraving and Printing in Washington, D.C., 32 notes are printed on each sheet of specially made paper. As many as 8,000 sheets go through each press every hour. That's more than 6 million pieces of currency every 24 hours. Billions of coins are struck for circulation each year at the mints in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Modern coins are churned out with amazing speed and efficiency. Some coin presses can pound out as many as 36,000 coins per hour. But high-speed presses are relative newcomers. For centuries, coins were made by hand, one at a time. Artists would take days to carefully engrave dies for the designs on the front and back of each coin. Then, a heated piece of metal was placed between the two dies, and a hammer slammed everything together to produce a magnificent coin. Even with such crude production methods, beautiful coins were created. Some of the greatest artwork of the ancient world is easily available to collectors today, stamped onto little pieces of gold, silver, and bronze. And you can find the faces to accompany familiar names from ancient history. Names like Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar, Nero, Cleopatra, and Jesus. Many coins are mentioned in the Bible. The Gospels tell us that when Jesus was shown a Roman coin, he declared, "Render unto Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to God the things that are God's." The coin Jesus was shown was called the tribute penny. It was probably a Roman denarius, a silver coin about the size of a dime, made during the reign of the Emperor Tiberius. Scholars believe the 30 pieces of silver that Judas received to betray Jesus were probably shekels from the city of Tyre in what is now Lebanon. Some ancient coins are worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars each, but many Roman and Byzantine coins can be purchased for $10 or less, an inexpensive way to touch the past. Many figures from recent history are also depicted on coins. You know their names, but do you know what they looked like? You can by looking at their coins. England's Henry VIII and Queen Elizabeth I, Napoleon, Daniel Boone, Booker T. Washington, John F. Kennedy. Important places and events are remembered as well, such as the writing of the Constitution, the Oregon Trail, the Battle of Gettysburg, and the landing on the moon. You see, money is more than just something to earn and spend. It's something to collect and study. It can be great art, a lesson in geography, or a tale from history. And it's always fun. But not all money is made of metal. Not all money is little either. There are some kinds of pocket change that wouldn't fit into your pocket, even if you wear a double extra large. This is stone money from the tiny Pacific island of Yap. Some of these are as big as 6 feet in diameter and weigh several thousand pounds. Yap stones are the largest and heaviest form of money ever. American Indians traded wampum for food and other necessities. The wampum was hand-carved from clam shells and strung together like a necklace. In colonial America, tobacco farmers could import a field worker from Europe, purchase a bride, or enslave a man for 120 pounds of tobacco. When Marco Polo returned to Italy from his incredible travels in Asia, he brought back strange-looking pieces of paper. They were covered with inscriptions and pictures of coins and dragons. This flying money, as it was called, was invented in China and was the world's first paper money. Although we take paper money for granted today, it was not widely used outside China until the 18th century. Sweden was the first country in Europe to use paper notes, and with good reason. Sweden was the world's largest producer of copper, and because of a shortage of silver, it was forced to make copper coins in big rectangular shapes. I mean, really big. They're called plate money, and some plates weighed as much as 44 pounds. What did people use for money in the American colonies? At first, they used coins produced by other countries. The most common was the Spanish pillar dollar. Its design symbolized the gateway to the old and the new worlds, united under the crown of Spain. Coins made from the silver mined in Central and South America by the Spanish conquistadors had the denomination 8 reales. This is where we get the famous expression, pieces of 8. There were also large gold coins of the era with the denomination 8 escudos, known as doubloons, another historical reminder of pirate treasure. In early America, the colonies faced severe shortages of coins for trade. The kings of England refused to allow them to make their own coins. They were afraid the colonists would become too independent if they made their own money. But one colony did anyway. Massachusetts struck its own coins in defiance of the king, an act of defiance that eventually led to our nation's independence. When the American Revolution erupted, money shaped and reflected public opinion in the colonies. This piece of paper money from Maryland shows England's King George trampling on the Magna Carta, England's version of the Constitution, while setting fire to an American city. And even in colonial times, the unscrupulous sought to profit by counterfeiting. So a warning was placed directly on some of the bills. The first coin approved by the Continental Congress was a copper coin known as the Fugio cent. One side shows a sundial and the Latin word fugio, meaning time flies. The other side of the Fugio cent was a symbolic linking of 13 rings, representing the unity of the 13 colonies. The first silver coins struck for the United States had an odd-sounding name, half dean. Legend says the silver used to make these first federal coins came from Martha Washington's own silverware. And some people believe that that may be Martha Washington's portrait on the coins. In 1793, the first large cents were produced. They were made of copper and were as big as today's $50. They had a design similar to the Fugio cent, but this time there was an outcry of criticism. Some people claimed the chain links symbolized bondage, not freedom. So the chain cent design was quickly altered, replaced by a less controversial floral wreath. Production of silver dollars started in 1794. They portrayed Miss Liberty on the front and a rather scrawny eagle on the back. Critics called it a buzzard. Fewer than 2,000 of these silver dollars were made, and surviving specimens are highly prized by collectors. Silver dollars were made at different times over the next 200 years and are some of the most popular United States coins. They're big, they're made of precious metal, and, depending on the particular coin, can be purchased for reasonable prices, even those minted in the 1800s. Gold coins have tremendous appeal. Perhaps it's the gold itself, the stuff dreams are made of. Maybe it's the marvelous artistic tradition displayed on many U.S. gold coins. Or maybe it's the range of denominations and sizes. A denomination of $2.50 may sound strange today, but our history is filled with all kinds of wonderfully odd denominations, strange coins, which often filled specific needs. For example, 2-cent pieces were struck to relieve the coin shortage caused by people hoarding small coins during the Civil War. Congress introduced a 3-cent coin when it lowered the rate for a first-class stamp. The Mint also experimented with a lovely little $4 gold coin called the Stella. It was rumored that some of the first pieces presented to congressmen for approval were spent in the brothels of Washington, D.C. A more conservative version was created, but neither